So going to put you all on the mute. And let me see if I can mute you guys. So, oh, guess what? I can
We
mute.
could actually mute ourselves too.
Yep. And I got, all right. So you guys are muted. And just in case you couldn't find the little button, because I know sometimes that happens. So I'm just super excited because today we are going to talk about unleashing your growth and also sustaining success. And how do you do that? But what we're going to do today is I'm going to share my screen with you. You could take down notes, anything it is that you are finding you are wanting to learn about, as well as, oops, going back to, I'm just trying to get my mouse going over here. Here we go. So today, as I shared, we are going to learn about unleashing growth and sustaining success, and what you all are going to learn today and what you're going to get your takeaway. Let me ask you something. Can you see this, or your face is in the way here? Can you see my picture? Because I could minimize us. I think I could. Here. Okay. I think we're good right now. I'm not sure if you could see me, but I think we're all good. And then, like I said, I'm going to try and have this chat up and see what you guys are up to, or any questions. So I'm going to periodically check that. So what we're going to learn today in this masterclass is what you're going to be coming away with is understanding the advanced strategy thinking, the concepts of the thinking, as well as tools that you can apply in your business for strategies, but also to drive that sustainable success that you are looking for. So on the bottom here, you're going to see some key points. I just want to make sure I am recording here. Yep, I am. So you're going to see some key points on the bottom, what you're going to walk away with. Your mission is very important on what it is you want your business to say about you, as well as having your vision statement. And that's another thing that I'll kind of talk about a little bit. But you also want to understand different ways of how to make decisions, because sometimes too, when it comes to decision making, it could be a little bit of challenging for you. Are you making the right decision in what it is that you are wanting to do, but also understanding different strategies to maintaining competitive advantage, as well as your goals and your objectives. So here's an outline of what we're going to do today within this 1 hour's time. Again, we're going to talk about the thinking part, the advanced strategy thinking, also going to go over the effective decision making, developing a strategy plan, creating organizational structures. I also added 2 more onto this, which was business growth and sustainability, as well as personal growth. And that's what we're going to close with, the personal growth aspect on there. So when we go into the advanced strategy thinking, this is what I want you to think about. Now, trying to understand what this means. When you are looking at the 3 areas here, which is the environmental analysis and scenario planning, which is the first one we're going to go with, this is an area where you're going to analyze marketing trends, because the advanced strategy thinking is going beyond the traditional thinking on here. This is going, I'm going to put here so you guys could see me a little bit. So this goes on the traditional way that we kind of think about things. So I'm going to bring you information, maybe of areas that you didn't even come to mind to you. So when you are looking at this, it also is to help you with technology advancements, as well as regular change. So how do you collect this information? Well, you always hear of data, right? So important to make sure that you're collecting all of the data that you are receiving. And the data stems from market research, as well as social media surveys, feedbacks. That's data. And that is basically how you're going to understand the analysis of what is around you and how people want to work with you. But most of all, your analytical tools are the ones that track your success in your business. It's tracking what you're doing, tracking what you're putting on social media, as well as tracking what's on your website. So the tracking aspect is so important because even though you all may be putting your information out on social media, the question is, what's the conversion rate? So from the information that you are posting, are you finding people are engaging with you in what it is that you posted? Or are you finding that they became a client in what it is that, I'm just using social media right now, what you're posting, because your audience is out there, but they just need to find you. And it's the information that you are putting out there that is going to gain that interest. But you also have to identify patterns. Now, when you are identifying the patterns, this really means changes that are going on. And this means that you want to, your consumers and what they want, what their preferences, what are their buying behaviors, as well as understanding the interaction of the brands. Now, think about what it is that you do, thinking about and your brand, what it is that you're offering. What in the area, and you know what, I am, even you could even put this in the chat as I'm even talking about this. The areas that you are finding are what people are engaging with you. Maybe it's something, maybe it's a nothing, or maybe it could be out of the ordinary. Because there's another thing too that I didn't say in this session before we got started, is I really would like to know in the chat, are you a startup business? Have you been in business for 1 to 3 years? Or have you been in business more than 3 years? Because of a lot, what I'm going to be sharing today is going to implement on the areas of link time that you have been in work, and what it is that you are wanting to gain from the information that I'm going to be sharing with you. Now, in case you don't understand what a scenario planning is, it's really planning for different ways your future is going to look, that how you're going to develop your business, what is going to be your plan. Like now, when you think about it, what do we have? A few months to the end of the year before we're in the new year. Do you have a plan in place? Do you already know what your 2024 is going to start with? How do you want to start that off? So let's talk a little bit about planning. When you plan, you have to see right now, where are you in the marketplace? Okay. Again, some of you may be services, some of you may be having products, some of you may be a consultant, whichever that is, but you have to understand what that marketing trend is going to be when you are looking at your planning. But also too, you have to know your industry and also your business. How does it set you apart from other businesses that may do what you do? You know, I will tell you, it is, even though you have people that do the same thing that you do, you know what, they don't, because each of you are unique in what it is that you do. We all do not have the same talents that we are in business. Each of us have something a little different. So always keep that in mind. And when it comes to understanding the impact of what your scenario planning is going to be, you want to I knew I was going to have a problem with this word, analyze. I don't know why I want to keep saying analysis, but analyze what your organization, what your business is bringing in and what your business is doing. Because here you have to identify what could be risks in some areas that you're doing, what could be opportunities, but then what can be potential strategies that are going to get you into that direction that you want. Because, you know, when you identify these areas, it's really basically reviewing your business, where it was you started, where it is you are today, where do you want to be in the future? That's why I asked, are you a startup business or 1 to 3 years or a little bit more? Because you're going to find how you started your business to where your business is leading you. It's going to be completely different of how you started to where you're going to be. And I could say that to you for being in business for 11 years. I started out working with businesses where they outsourced their work to me. As I moved here to Florida, now I'm working with businesses who want to get educated and understanding how to be stronger in their business, how to make that improvement. So you're always reviewing, but you have to understand what your strategies are going to be and what it is that you are going to want to do. Now, we always hear about visionary leadership, right? We always hear about long-term strategy. You know, when you are crafting a compelling vision, I cannot tell you how important that is. If you don't have a vision, you're not going to have a future in your business because you truly are not going to understand where it is that you want to go. A clear vision is an inspiring vision, which are your long-term visions, right? So when you do strategic goal setting, and I'm going to talk about this a little later, but when you do these type of goal putting, we all know what SMART is, right? SMART. And in case you don't, but you probably do, it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And that means when you want to achieve things. When you ensure that all your actions and decisions align with your vision goals, that's the area when you're going to find that you're going to make each area happen to what it is that you want. Again, it's how you're thinking and it's about your mindset. So when you are looking at the innovation, when it comes to your business, how do you cultivate communication, right? That's what that kind of basically means. It's encouraging creative thinking. And that's how you do with open communication. You know, some of you may have a mentor, some of you may be working on your own, but I will tell you that when you have that open communication where you have a support group, where there's no judgment involved, but you are talking about what it is that you want to do, I will always say that you are going to have those strategies put in place because now the thinking, the creative part is coming. You're not with that, I can't do this. I'm not sure if that's going to work. You know, some of you that I've worked with, and Ellen, I'm going to share your story. Ellen wanted to go to a conference and she didn't think it was going to happen. But guess what, Ellen? It happened, right? You got there. That conference was there because she changed her way of thinking. You know what? She was going to make it happen. When you think creatively and you know what you want, you are going to get it. And it is going to happen for you. And when you look at the part when it comes to a team, maybe you all have a team that you all are working with. Again, communication. And I'm actually putting you guys up online right now because I like to see your faces when I'm talking. But when you are having that non-judgmental communication, and let me tell you something. If someone doesn't see your dream, you know what? It's okay. So then you're going to move on and you're going to look at others that want to help you to get to where you want to be. But when you look at an agile adaptation, if I'm saying that correctly, you are actually going to be embracing change as well as adjusting strategies based on evolving circumstances. So with that said, it is so important to continuously improve because something didn't work. Okay, it didn't work. So now we're going to put that aside. You're not going to waste your time on it. But now you're going to like, okay, let's try this. We learn. Okay, we learn it. That's how we improve. That's how we become to where we want to be. I cannot tell you how many changes that there has been in my business from what I thought was going to work to what did eventually work, because really, basically, I never stopped. No matter how many times I wanted to, I had my little moments. Okay, you can have a moment, you're allowed to have it, but shake it off. And then you're going to start new the next day, because when you don't, you get held back. And I don't want to see that happen for anybody. You know, at times when you get feedback, embrace your feedback. And the reason why I'm saying that to you is because your feedback that you get, good or bad, is going to help you to move forward to be better. You get great feedback, awesome. I want to have better feedback. If you get feedback to say, you know what, they weren't happy with something, you embrace it and you just, share what you need to share, but you're going to make it better. But you know what, you're learning because you know what the worst, not the worst, but when you don't get any feedback, you don't know if you're going to grow or not because you're not really hearing what others have to say. So always remember to be kind when it comes to feedbacks, because that's how you learn from your success to your failures. There's a quote that I learned from Mary Kay when I was a sales director of Mary Kay. My favorite quote was, "Success is achieved by those that know how to fail." Because I can't tell you how many times it took me to be a sales director, how many times it took me to be a career car driver, how many times it took me to get my Queen's Court of Sales. So always embrace each journey that that you're going to be in. So we're going to go into decision making. Any questions or anything that anybody wants to put in the chat? I'm just looking just right in case. Okay, so we're going to go into effective decision making. Okay, and when we get into effective decision making, oops, sorry guys. I'm trying to look at the little arrows down here. Here we go. Yay! Effective decision making. So I'm going to move you guys here. And I'm going to move this down here so I can see what I'm talking about. Decision making is an ongoing skill. You learn and you become better, but you know what? You always learn from things that maybe you shouldn't have done, or maybe you shouldn't have tried because you're not going to, try that, again. But when it comes to decision making and the strategies and the tools, and I want you all to think about that. When you, how do I say this? When you identify your decision, okay, and you have to make a decision, you have to consider the complexity, the importance, and the urgency of whatever that decision may be. It may be personal, but it could be business. And you need to think about that. Do you all know what SWOT is? SWOT. Put your thumbs up if you know, but if you've never heard it, put your thumbs down if you hadn't heard. Okay. SWOT is understanding the strength, the weakness, opportunities, but also the threats. And this helps you to analyze analysis, that's what I wanted to say, to access the current position and making the right decision. You're going to have a lot of this area, and if this is a word that you need to put up by your office, knowing what this meaning is, it is going to help you when it comes to any future strategies that you want to put in place. Is it going to make me strong in what I'm going to do? Will it bring me opportunities to grow my business, to meet new people, as well as, is it my weakness? Now, what areas in your business do you find are not your strengths? Mine is my website. I'll tell you that right now. I can't do that back office plugin, all of that. So identify what you're not good at and then leave it alone. Put it aside if it's not going to bring you any type of opportunity that you are looking for. Just want to make sure that there's nobody else trying to get in. Also, when you look at costs, when it comes to decision making with cost and the benefits and analysis on that, is that you want to evaluate what that cost is going to be. Now, think about it. I always have said this before. Sometimes we don't spend the money because we don't have it. My best analogy on that is, if you know it's going to bring you business and you need to spend the money, then that is an area that you should do because you're going to get the revenue back. But if you're buying something for your business that it looks fun, I'm going to try it, let me see if I can incorporate it in there. That's where you really have to think about it and wait till you do have the money, to do that. Because when it comes to understanding these decisions, because you have to have money for a rainy day, for those days where you may not be busy in your business. But when it comes to a group decision making, now some of you may be working by yourself, or some of you may have some team members. It is very important to understand the effectiveness in your decision making, but how you're going to collaborate. Now, you may work alone, but maybe it's your spouse or maybe it's a partner. And, the ideas go back and forth. I always say, think about it, sleep on it, and then you can make your decision the next day. Because when you wake up with the same feeling, you already have your answer. Nothing's going to change. Sometimes you may need 4 days in a row to do it. Maybe it will change the next day, but you know what? It doesn't. And it's giving you that answer. Always listen to your intuition when it comes to decision, because your intuition will never lie. It will always tell you what you need to do. But when you have to gather and analyze relevant information, areas that you need to look at is the decision making. Is it going to require a solid foundation of what you're going to get with that relevant information? You also want to do is identify the key factors. Now, the key factors, again, is data, any type of insight that you are getting, as well as the decision that's going to be made on hands. Other areas too that you want to look at that is research and analyzing the availability of the information that ensures your decision is going to be well formed. You want to make sure that in whatever decision you're going to make, you have the information to back it up, right? Sometimes we make decisions and we realize I shouldn't have done that. And you know what? That's okay. That's how we learn. But when you get that information to back up what it is that you want to do, you're going to know if it's going to be right for your business. Like, say, for example, maybe we want to have an office, or maybe we want to hire someone, or maybe we want to delegate out to have a VA. You have to see, is it going to be the right decision for you to do right now? Or are you putting those numbers together, right? So when it comes to decision making, also too, look at your income. Look at what you're bringing in from your business. What is your gross? You have to understand numbers, because when you have that visual and you know how much you want to bring in, those numbers are going to show you how many clients you need to have to whatever your rate is, or whatever your products are priced at. That's why numbers are so important on that. But you also too, when it comes to considering consequences and the trade-offs, this is an area where you need to be very careful, and you really need to evaluate the potential consequences that could happen to your business. Now, a lot of times we make decisions where, we've had an area too, like we all know, like a few years ago, what happened with the pandemic and stuff. Some of the consequences were, businesses didn't open back up because they didn't have that funding for a rainy day, or because people weren't coming out, right, due to what was happening. But when you look at different options of what it is that you can do, it's very important to evaluate that. But most of all, too, you want to consider the short-term and the long-term game on it. Now, you could be looking at something right now. It may look like it's a long-term, but what's a short-term, but what's the long-term game, right? So for me, for example, as I transitioned into becoming a business strategist, I did that a year ago. So my short-term was, okay, I need to put this all in place. By next year, I wanted to be into a different area, which I am. So I had to really look at the consequences. Should I still be working with business owners that want to outsource their work? Or do I want to go into the direction of sharing and teaching and helping business owners to be successful? I was pulled, but my heart and my mind was going to where I am. And it was a right decision for me to do, because I truly enjoy working with startup businesses and businesses that are wanting to move forward. But also to understand potential benefits and any drawbacks when you are making the decision, and also to consider risk factors that could apply with any of the information that you are deciding to do, and how it's going to affect you personally, as well as your business. So I am just going to come back up here. Okay, I just wanted to see if there was any chats in here. So the other area that we're going to go into now is we're going to go into developing a strategy plan. How many of you know what a strategy plan is? Raise your hand. Yes, no, do, great. So I would like you to put in the comments, what is your strategy plan? Like, what do you see? What is like 1 or 2 words? Doesn't have to be a lot, but what you think your strategy or what you would want your strategy plan to be. And as you all are doing that, I am now going to come to the next screen. Right here, everything that you all are seeing has to do with just strategic planning. Has to be your vision, has to be organization, research, which I shared about, mission, which I shared about, your plan, your forecast, your management. Because again, when you have a clear vision of your goals, you are going to be able to bring forth what it is that you want in your future. You're also going to be able to reflect back on your vision. And this is actually going to help you with when you want to have specific time frames in what it is that you are doing, such as right now, some of you may have some vision. Is it going to take you 1 year, 2 year, 3 year? Put into the chat. Is it going to take you 1 year to what your vision goal is? Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. You can even put that down. I'm not sure what my goal plan is yet. So as you guys are writing that down, recoup funds spent. Is that a strategic plan, Ellen? Yes, thumbs up. Your strategic plan? Okay. Do we have anybody else here right now? So also put down your goal. Oops, sorry. This thing's clicking on me. Also put down, okay, say for Ellen in her goal. How long do you want that? Do you want that to be 1 year, Ellen? Do you want it to be 2 years, 3 years? Put it down in the chat. Because when you now have that vision, this is the counting. Okay, now you got to break up the months. All right. You know what that number is, but now you got to work towards that number. How am I going to make it happen? This is where the thinking comes in now on how it is that and what it is that you want to do with your goal. So when you guys are writing that down, and also too, policies, you know, a lot of times when we work with our clients, we just want to work with them, but we don't have a policy. Like if you're doing products, you know, is there a refund on purchase? You know, is it 10 days, 20 days? When you're working with clients, you know, policy of confidentiality, you know, policy of appointments, you know, especially as you know now, I mean, you don't go to a doctor and you forget to call them, they're still going to charge you for that fee, right? That office visit. So these are some areas when it comes into strategic planning that we really truly have to look at. So Ellen, yours is in 6 months. Kendra, get my computer and jewelry reach a larger amount of consumers. Get my, company. I'm sorry. I thought it was computer. I'm like, how's your computer going to get that? But yeah, okay. So that's your plan. Okay. So Kendra, what is your time frame? Put it down in the chat. Are you looking to do this in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? So when you are thinking about that, this is an area that will be very, very helpful for you. I see another thing now. You know what, Kendra? Now is the same way as saying I can sell to anybody. Everybody uses needs my products. Well, really, not everybody can use our services. Now would be awesome. So what's happening, Kendra, is you're driving a car with no gas. Now we got to put gas in that car. Now let's figure out how we're going to get the gas in that car for you to drive to get that going. So this is where the plan now comes into place. So my suggestion would be look at your vision, put down how long you want it to be done, and what are the steps that you are going to do to make it happen. This again, too, is where I was saying earlier, and I'm going to recap on it, when you're working with mentors and how working with mentors can help you with your business. So let me just get back to where I was. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to go into organizational structures. Now, when you are looking at this, as I'm going to turn my page, so one moment, just trying to figure out, here we go. Oops, my apologies again, guys. Here we go. Okay, let's see if I can get there. Hey, there we go. Hey, woohoo, we got it. Okay, so here we go with the framework that outlines processes. So Kendra, you were saying now, these are the processes now we're going to be putting into place. So one is you have to define clear roles and responsibilities. Now, this could be with your team. This could be working for yourself. So what is your role that you are doing? What is the responsibilities you need to take to get there? So when you have a clear understanding of the task, you then have a clear understanding of what that responsibility is going to be, because it's going to help you with your overall goal on making that happen. When you're looking at, considering flexibility and scalability, this is where when you design your business to fit these needs, you'll find that your business grows, and as it grows, you're going to have changes. As I said before, where you first start your business, as you are growing and you track yourself, when it comes time to look back, you're going to see how you started. And now you're going to see where you are, and now you're going to see what you have accomplished and what your achievements are of what it is that you did. So, for fun, guys, I always like to after one another, put down in the chat, what achievement have you done in your business that maybe you thought about, or you finally got a chance to do it? So put that down as I'm sharing the rest of what I'm going to share about the flexibility and sustainability. So when it comes to your structure, it also allows you to have cross-functional collaborative communications with different channels. You may be a one-person business right now, but maybe you're going to have staff later. Maybe your business is going to be in a location where you're going to have somebody maybe at a front desk. But it's very important that you have to keep the communications open for others to understand. I did a vendor. Oh, good for you, Kendra. You did a vendor event. That's an achievement, because it's putting out your stuff. And you know what? You were engaging with others, right? Sometimes when it comes with our things, we look at it and like, oh my gosh, who's going to buy it? Or who's really going to use my services? The one thing that I have learned in my change is when people know more about you, they want what you have. They watch for when your posts come out, right? What message are they going to say today? What is it? And they're looking and they're getting those notifications. They want to be part of what you are in. And that's the excitement of when you start to bring more achievement in what it is that you are wanting to do. But when it comes to communication flow, I'm not sure if you understand what this means, but this means that you want to ensure that information can move between different levels. Now, think about what I just said. Right now, if you're in business by yourself, you are the communicator, right? But different levels could be your clients. Making sure that they're understanding what it is that you are saying, what it is that you are doing, that they know what your schedule is, not that they are expecting you to see you and you're not there. Not if they go to your location when you say you're open from 9 to 5, and then you find out that they get there and you're not there, and they're not there. So when you are doing this communication flow, you want to make sure, oh, Dr. Pan, she needed to go. Ellen had a brick and mortar. Yep. Had new clients in my business and learned the valuable lesson. Yep. That's what you did. You learned a lesson from that, but that's okay, because now you know the areas of what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So when it comes to our next slide, and I always keep going back to 2, so I'm sorry. We're going to talk about business growth and sustainability. You're going to learn how to expand your market research, invest in the talent culture, but as well as build strong relationships. Now, having a strong relationship, I may start with that one first, but when you have that open communication I was talking about, your client, you really want your clients to stay loyal to you. And they will stay loyal to you when they know they can trust you in your word, when they know they can trust you with your products, and they know that you are going to put out quality material. But when it comes also to expanding market research, you want to, maybe your area that you're working in isn't benefiting you. Maybe you need to reach out to other areas. Now, we happen to be in the Palm Coast area. Maybe it is coming down to going down to Ormond or going down to Daytona, other areas where they could have more population in what it is that you're doing, if you are doing vendor events. Also, too, you want to, you'll find that when you engage with your clients, or later on if you have staff, you're going to get more growth in what it is that your business is doing and how it is that you are creating that contribution to what you are doing for your clients. But most of all, too, when you have a strong culture base, and the culture when it comes in your business is so important, you're going to have that top talent. That top talent is going to be you. It could be someone else that's joining you in your business, or an apprentice, or someone that is going to be helping with you. But always remember too that you want to have a long-term vision of where you are now to where it is that you are. But when it comes to your personal growth, this is here of learning of who you are and what it is that you could do. Let's talk about skill development. Skill development is of learning. You're learning different techniques of how to do things. You are improving your soft skills. Soft skills are communication, as well as leadership, but also as well as time management. But you're also staying up to date in your industry. What are the new things coming out? What is it that you can learn about? What do you want to put together? Holidays are coming. What is it that you want to do differently that you're not doing now? Now, how many of you feel that you have a work-life balance? All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you about a work-life balance. So when you have, again, what I was talking about, if you are finding that you're not having a work-life balance, it needs to be identified why. Is it your time management? Are you finding that you may need to have, as they say, two brains are better than one, right? It's working with someone else. It's a mentor. But what happens is you get the insight, you get the guidance, you also get professional support, as well as challenges that come up that you may not know what to do with. And also you make better decisions, as well as planning your career path. So when you are learning your education in your field, or maybe it's learning or taking a class or jumping on a free masterclass like this, you are ensuring that by attending your workshops or seminars, webinars, or maybe it's even earning a certificate in your field that you are certified in what it is that you do. You are continuously bringing in knowledge, as well as opening up with new ideas. So I am right now going to get to the next slide if I can, if I don't go back to 4, 5, 10. So with personal development, and let me get into the next slide. So when you work with anyone you choose to, when it comes to personal growth, you are, as it says here, transformation for experience of personal growth. What are your keywords in business? Think about it. What are the keywords that you're finding your audience wants to see? You know, I know you both are, working with your jewelry, but maybe it is, qualified gems. It could be something like unique, we're always different, or anything to to bring your qualified words into what is going to grab that attention. You also want to see about, as I've shared, and I've had this with you both, but a one-on-one and let's chat. You know, I will always say, when you want to grow your business, always reach out to others for a one-on-one. Learn about each other, and they'll learn about you. They could use your services, but you know what, maybe they can't, but you know what, they can refer you to others. So I will always say it's important to have a one-on-one with others. Other areas too is that, did I skip something here? Oh, now, if you are ready to have a one-on-one, oh my God, I know I've had it with both of you, but if you're like, yes, I do want to grow my business, and yes, I want to know different strategies that I, could put in place, I will always say to you, I would love for you to scan this code and check out my business strategy or my business discovery session. This is actually where you will see the different steps of where it is that you could be going, because everyone is unique. And you'll also have learning different topics of what it is that specifically fits your needs, how to put them together. But the main thing is too, that you always want your business to be a long-term success. So I will share with you that if this is a choice that you do choose, you will be getting my organizational productivity book. It's going to give you different strategies of how it is that you can be more productive in your business, or maybe even your personal, as well as being organized. And there's also a 7-day challenge that's going to be in there. So I want to share with you that my vision statement is, I want to empower businesses to navigate, trying to see if you guys could see this, to navigate complexity, serve opportunities, achieve remarkable growth, setting new standards, success, and the realm of business strategies. What's your vision statement? Have you even thought of that? Your vision statement is what's going to bring attention to people, because when I work with my clients as a strategist, they want to be empowered. They want to have opportunities. They want to achieve, then they want to grow, but most of all, they do want success. So as I am in my close, I want to thank you both for being here with me today and for being on with me. And I just want to say I enjoyed having you on board, and I'm hoping that I do see you in my strategy session. And I'm going to stop sharing here right now. I'm going to unmute you ladies. And I really would like, whoops, can you guys unmute yourselves? Because it's not working for me. So we're just going to see what some of the comments are. Okay, are you guys unmuted? Oh, Ellen, you did unmute yourself. Yeah. So I'm curious, out of what you have heard me share with you today, how you're seeing your thinking and what your direction is that you are wanting to go in.
We had a session together and you helped give me a different perspective and some other things to focus on. I kind of put my butt in gear a little bit, and I signed up for some advertising, and then I just finished getting my Facebook business page together. So people can actually have somewhere to go and look at the jewelry and I guess associate the company with what I do. And I'm about halfway done getting a actual retail website done. So I'm hoping that won't be, I mean, it's been difficult to do it, but I'm hoping I'll be able to keep up with, like demand and supply and stuff like that.
Okay, so your strategic plan is to put those steps together. So you have to take it by piecemeal, right? Out of what I shared with you, out of the strategic planning, what are you going to find kind of put a light bulb to you in some areas that you might be wanting to help you with that?
Well, I guess you helping me think of, more strategy, like with the questions you ask me and the stuff. We have another meeting coming up. So I'm like I'm basically trying to expand everything, I guess. Like you said, step by step. I'm a newer business, so I don't have a ton of money, but most of the money I have goes towards the supplies.
Mhm.
And
Same.
then, yeah.
What'd you say, Ellen?
They're not cheap either. And when people don't buy your jewelry or trust in you to buy your jewelry, you're not getting back what you put out. And it's very
Exactly.
frustrating.
Right, right. So that is the part that I was talking about, where it comes to when things don't work. Or you want to be in like in that same motion and going, or what is it that you're going to change? How are you going to make it work? How are you going to make people want to have your jewelry? That's the part of the keywords, what I was sharing about earlier. That's also to how people can find you. You know, your audience may not be here in Palm Coast.
Right.
They may be in different locations that are specifically looking for what each of you do in your business. Excuse me. So if one area is like geographically, was that what I was sharing? If that area isn't, then you branch out to somewhere else. But I will tell you, when you go in with the mind of, excuse me, this is going to happen, this is going to be my day. You may be thinking of like, oh, 30 people. Okay, maybe it's 2 people. But those are 2 people you never had. But my question is too, how do you follow up with these people? How do you keep them to be your clients? And that's where emails come into very importantly. When you have Facebook groups and they're joining it, ask the questions about jewelry on that, get their email, give them something as a gift for being part of your group, something inexpensive, nothing, doesn't have to be a jewelry. But Ellen, what's yours?
Okay, so I have a question. So when you make up a client information sheet, like I had done, they leave out their address. So how do you send something to them as a thank you gift or thank you card? How do you reach out through regular postal service and not have it cold calling on a email or a text message? I find that so very unprofessional when you send a text message to a person.
Well, I will tell you, when you're having them fill out a form, that's very easy to do. But when you have it electronically sent and you have required fields, they have to fill it out. That's number one. That's why I don't do paper. I will always do forms sent electronically through email. This way it is
How do you obtain those forms?
You what?
How do you obtain those forms?
You can actually, if you have one already or you create it and then you make them fillable. So when you make something fillable, they have to, like, when you do your fillable forms online, you can make your documents fillable and then it comes back, because what it is that it's also the question how you're asking it. Your free gift is waiting for you. What is your best mailing address? When you don't ask the question, but you're now giving them the direction. And that's what happens a lot in things like this, where when you're not giving the direction of what you want, then they're going to do what they want. So you always have to say, your gift is waiting for you. What is the best mailing address to send you your special, whatever you want to call it, offer or things like that. Now, that's then, and I'll tell you something too. I'm not sure where, you're doing this, Ellen, or if this is like at the
now I'm working from home. I'm home based now.
So this is all but what you're sharing with me with the form, is this something that's in person form that they're filling out or online?
I had tried it and it seemed like everybody that came, majority of the people, until I stopped, I just gave up on it. And I shouldn't have gave up on it. I should have been persistent with it. It's just that I felt like, well, okay, if they don't fill out this form, then they can't shop, or they're not. It was like either you do it or you don't, or don't bother being my customer. That seems so.
Yeah, you have to give the reason of what the importance is of the address. Now, sometimes you could say, for my database, it helps me to identify who you are by your address, being that at times names could be similar. See what I'm saying? So you may want to use something to that effect that, please fill out your address to help us identify you in our program, because we go by address source. And, and if somebody really has a problem with it, then, leave it alone and they'll just have to, meet you somewhere to give you something, because sometimes you just don't know people's reasons why. But majority will always give you their address, but I will tell you it's how you asked the question. So like if you are I mean, it's like anything, doctor's office, you need the address, right? If you are not making it a
I get
preference, people aren't going to do it because you are not making it a preference.
Oh,
So when you
I
have
get-
go ahead.
I get what Ellen is saying. Like it's discouraging. Like you
Mhm.
think that they're not interested in your jewelry or they don't want to purchase it. Because when I did my first vendor event, it was not good. And I actually stopped making jewelry for about 2 months to bounce back from that, because
Mhm.
it just messed up my self-esteem and the courage and all of that. Cause I'm like, well, I made all this stuff and nobody even wants to purchase anything. But then
Right.
once I got back in, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start making more jewelry for myself and then go from there. So that's how I made myself get back into it.
Well, that was good, because I will tell you, it takes 3 to 6 months before you will have that consistency of purchases. And it's because people have to get to know you, because, you have to understand it's anything in direct sales. Oh, it's just another person selling something. But how do you not be that another person selling something? What's going to make you unique about it? Okay, so Ellen, I know you make your one-piece jewelries. Okay,
I
that's
know everybody that I sell to, people that I know. Oh, that's such a pretty piece. I was like, okay, then come on by. I mean, then they
And
don't
then they
buy it.
don't.
well, you
Mhm.
have to understand. You
that.
I
I
I'm look,
I
you know
had the
what,
same
Ellen?
problem.
It's
Same
because
problem.
you were putting the
Put
sale.
the together.
You were putting the sale before the person. Now, hear what I'm saying. You right now are looking at, I got to sell this. I need money. I have to get some sort of income. When you have that in your mind, that's a roadblock. Your communication's not there. There's nothing personable about you. And the people feel it. And I will say that too. I've been in sales for 10 years. So I understand what
I
you
did door-to-door sales and I never had that happen.
And
And I've
again,
done sales out of my dad's, I did my favors and stuff. I didn't have that problem.
because you were a different person then than you are now.
Yeah, I was a bitch.
Well, okay, but what I'm trying to say is,
Spade is spade, it is what it is.
it is what it is, but you have to understand too, when it comes to sales, when you want people to purchase what you have, remember when I was telling you, I don't know if I was telling you both, are you that person, like we have politicians today that are talking at us, they want us to hear what they want us to hear, but are you
No.
grandma with the apple pie? And grandma with the apple pie means that she didn't have to say anything. She came out the holiday time with that apple pie. She baked it. It smells great. You can't eat another morsel, but you're not going to have that apple pie till next year. You want it. The purpose of people wanting to work with you is they want what you have. If you're not coming across in that mannerism, then there's no reason for them wanting to work with you. Do you understand? This is not saying in any way that there's anything not right here. It is how we think, because what we think about, we bring about. So if we're looking at it that, okay, Kendra, I made all this jewelry and nobody, you know what? Okay, it happens. That's what business is about. You have to now figure out what is going to work. I will tell you what worked for me as I was in my change. Okay, yes, I have a lot of things. Both of you know I have PTSD. When I was diagnosed with that, it did a whole big change for me. I had to change how I worked. And what happened was I became more humble. I just was going on videos just to say, hey, here I am. And what I can, what I can offer with not even a penny to you, like right now. This is all for you because I want to do this for you because I want to help you. You have to understand that mentality. You have to watch yourself. You have to film yourself. How are you talking? I'm going to tell you something. This is the one thing I learned in sales. When I was not getting the sales, I recorded myself. I listened to it the next day. And when I listened to it the next day, I said, oh my God.
I have another meeting I have at 2:00. I'm already late
All
for.
right, go ahead. You guys could go ahead because we're ending up now. But Ellen, you're going to get a recording on this.
Okay, can we connect more the three of us? I'd like to have this more discussion on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
A lot of,
very well.
I think you and I can help each other out somehow, and I think God can connect us together for this reason. So reach out to me. I have my phone number on the chat.
yeah,
Okay.
I wrote your number down.
All right.
I agree.
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are connecting. So she's going to do it, and I am just going to stop recording. Or you want to stop recording?